Welcome back, everyone. We have an update from Ionic Rare Earth Limited, trades on the ASX under the symbol IXR and on the OTC under the symbol IXRRF, and is leading the secure supply of magnet rare earths, leveraging their sustainable technology, pioneering magnet recycling to drive the next generation of wind turbines, electric vehicles, defense, and advanced manufacturing. Happy to welcome Managing Director Tim Harrison. Tim, welcome to the conference. We're looking forward to hearing your update.
Great, thanks, Anna. Good to be back. Ionic Rare Earth, as Anna mentioned, we're an Australian-listed company and we're commercialising technology on magnet recycling. Just our disclaimer and an overview of the company. So geographically, we're Australian-based. We're commercialising technology in the UK. We have an upstream asset in Uganda, which is an ionic adsorption clay. We have a joint venture in Brazil looking to go downstream on recycling and refining. And exciting to be also looking at expanding now our footprint into the US. We're recycling permanent magnets that contain a range of heavy rare earths. And with our site in Belfast, where we've been demonstrating our technology, we've been separating a range of magnet rare earths and expanding that to include other heavy rare earths, which are in increasingly rare supply at the moment. Just a quick overview of our corporate snapshot. Market cap is approximately 65 million Aussie dollars. The thematic is extremely strong, as everybody's probably aware, on certainly a lot of geopolitical tensions and global megatrends driving a significant demand for a range of heavy rare earths, driven by commitments from NATO to increase spending across the next 10 years, up to 5% of GDP. We've seen significant trends on the uptake and potential for consumption of these materials in EVs and the transition to renewable energy. Three aspects of our business. Obviously, Ionic Technologies business in the UK, where we're commercialising that tech. We've demonstrated the technology, we've made materials, and we've built supply chains here. We're validating those supply chains, and we've got some exciting things that will happen over coming weeks. We've got our Viridian joint venture working with Viridis Mining and Metals, where we're looking at taking our technology and deploying that in the Brazilian market, plus also developing a refinery. And finally, we've got our Makuutu Rare Earth project. We own 60% of that large ionic adsorption clay project, which is a development-ready asset, fully mined, permitted, environmental permits, and ready to move to the next phase of development. Importantly, the Makuutu asset has got 45% heavy rare earths in its basket. Touching upon the magnet recycling business, Ionic Technologies, in Belfast, we're running a demonstration plant. We've been running that demonstration plant for over 2 years, producing separated oxides, which have gone into the supply chain, gone into validation with our partners. The plant capacity can produce approximately 10 tonnes per annum, and it's been strongly supported by the UK government. We have developed a feasibility study targeting a 400-tonne per annum commercial plant, and we continue to work on developing the capital structure for the project, and we expect to be closing out the financing in the third quarter of this year. Looking at the economics for the Belfast facility, capital development of £85 million, which is a bit over $100 million US. Payback is around 2.4 years when we look at the numbers in 2024. However, pricing has moved quickly in that period, and we expect that the economics is going to improve significantly when we rerun the numbers. We've developed supply chains here in the UK. Started a few years ago where we developed a supply chain with Less Common Metals, which was recently acquired by USA Rare Earths, and also Ford, with magnets being made by another partner, GKN. We've taken that supply chain and we've expanded it last year, adding 2 more UK-based OEMs, plus an upstream scrap recycler to complete the supply chain. And with Vacuum Schmelz, a German magnet manufacturer who is commercialising in South Carolina, we are completing the supply chain here in the UK in a model that we look to bring to the US. For our Belfast commercial plant, we've received a UK government grant of £12 million, and we expect, with additional support from the UK government, completing that capital in the third quarter of this year. We continue to build relationships across the supply chain. We've got relationships upstream on recycling and the recovery of scrap from EMR, who I mentioned earlier. Downstream relationships with the magnet manufacturer, one of those being JS Link, which is a Korean magnet manufacturer. And last year, importantly for US investors, we signed an MOU with US Strategic Metals to look at developing our technology on their fully permitted site in Missouri. And we continue discussions and progressing positively with stakeholders in the US to look at not only replicating what we're doing in Belfast with NdFeB magnet recycling, but also adding samarium, cobalt, and yttrium recycling. The opportunity we see in the US is incredibly exciting. The catalytic capital, with about $3.5 billion of US government support, is part of $13 billion that's been invested across the mine to magnets supply chain in the US. But an area that's probably often overlooked is the amount of swarf that's likely to be generated by such capacity. That $13 billion will generate somewhere in the order of 45,000 tonnes per annum of NdFeB magnet capacity. And we will look at the projected swarf and waste that's generated from that production mass. We estimate there's approximately 20,000 tonnes per annum of NdFeB swarf that will be generated from that process. Importantly, our technology can process that material plus end of life, providing that material back via our patented long loop recycling process, providing separated magnet rare earths to enable the capacity and production of new metals and alloys, therefore closing the loop and ensuring a most efficient supply chain for the US. Looking at pricing and the dynamics that's happening in the bifurcation of supply chains over the past 12 months since the implementation of export controls by China last year, we've seen a significant disconnect between Chinese pricing on heavy rare earths, specifically dysprosium, which is roughly trading at over nearly 7 times the price in the West compared to Chinese prices, roughly $1.5 million a tonne. When we look at terbium, that's pushing up towards $5 million a tonne, and it's approximately nearly 5 times the price that we'd see in China. But the real star performer over the past 12 months is yttrium. Yttrium's up roughly 145 times relative to the price in China today. And, our focus remains, extremely keen on developing Western heavy rare earth capacity to be able to facilitate these new supply chains. So to closing out on our investment highlights, we are a first mover in the development of magnet recycling and production of separated magnet rare earths, which are incredibly important for the production of new magnets. We have extremely good economics on the development of Belfast, a commercial magnet recycling plant. And the model there is to develop that project in a way that will enable us to hyperscale the technology on multiple sites across the US and other jurisdictions. We've received strong UK government support. We're in discussions with the US for further progress on the financing and deployment of our technology. I mentioned before, our patented technology enables a wide range of different feeds, which we can process via a hydrometallurgical path to high purity separated oxides. We've cultivated strategic partnerships and relationships demonstrating supply chains and validating products for potential customers. And we look forward to talking more about that in coming weeks. Viridian joint venture that we've established with Viridis has progressed to the point where we're now looking at commercializing or certainly demonstrating our magnet recycling technology in the Brazilian market, and also bringing to market a refinery that will be capable of processing ionic adsorption clay feedstock in Brazil. Finally, our Makuutu asset is an ionic adsorption clay that's development ready, and we're assessing options to realise the value in the asset going forward. And finally, we have an execution roadmap centred on near-term development of our magnet recycling, and the expansion of our technology into new markets. And so with that, Anna, I'm open to taking some questions, please.
Thank you, Tim. Okay, we have time for just one question to kind of wrap it up. Talk about the key investor milestones for Ionic in 2026.
So as we round out 2026, big focus now is on commercialising Belfast. So closing out the capital stack, working through the permitting, completing front-end engineering design, which we hope to commence shortly, and then getting to an investment decision later this year. Beyond that, we're excited about the potential to replicate that opportunity in the US and move towards being a multi-asset producer of magnet rare earths in our target markets.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Great update. Exciting times for this industry, and we certainly want to have you back in the future for more.
Great. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you, Tim. Everyone, we'll be right back.